Hey guys, welcome back to Faith, Family, and Laundry. I'm your host, Aaron, here with my beautiful wife. And today we're going to be discussing what's the three most important things that a father needs to provide for his daughter. As a father, sometimes we feel as if we're doing enough, but I think it's important to hear what actually matters. So rather than me explaining it, let's get right into it and hear it from a woman's perspective.
Awesome. Thank you so much, babe. So I think these three really important factors that a little girl needs to be a successful woman, especially in her dating life, are emotional safety, affirmation, and constant presence. What do you think about those three things off that? Like, what comes to your head when I say those three
I think you gotta explain it. That's what I
things?
think.
Really?
I think it's not that easy. I think from a man's perspective, especially me,
It's a little foreign. It's
yeah,
a little foreign.
I'm just used to providing. I'm used to, thinking on my end that I'm doing enough, but clearly, there's some things that
As
I'm
you should.
sure a lot of the
As you
guys you
should.
guys could relate is it's not it doesn't come that natural.
It's valid and it's fair. And this is why sometimes it's extremely important that women are the ones that are supposed to be teaching this, right? And letting you guys know because you guys are only males. No, you are supposed to be the providers and the protectors, and that's 100% true. But we also need something way bigger than that. For starters, these are the top three that I feel like your daughters 100% need to be grow into successful young ladies. The first one is emotional safety. I mean, that's super underrated. Affirmation, second, underrated. And then for third, consistent presence. I'm definitely going to get into the details on each one of them, but what comes to mind when I say emotional safety for you personally as a male?
When I hear that, I think of when my daughter's maybe crying. How do I comfort her? Right? I mean, I'm sure every father can relate. The first thing that comes to mind is when she gets her first heartbreak. I mean, that's just what comes to mind for me. Maybe when she's just not feeling like enough. I don't know. That's what kind of comes to my mind.
Okay,
When I
okay,
hear
we're getting
emotional
somewhere.
safety.
Okay,
You
okay,
know,
we're getting somewhere. So let me go into detail. Emotional safety literally comes from your heart, not from your reaction. Okay. This is the foundation of everything. Your little girl learns what love is through their father. It's definitely proven and research that girls do not focus on what their fathers have bought them, they focus on how they made them feel. So when you look at your daughter, just know that you are the example of what they are looking for in a man once they are older. These are a couple of examples. You listen to her even when it's silly things, not mocking their feelings. It's so easy to just dismiss how they feel because it may be silly for you, but for them, it's everything. So, what they're feeling at that time is like the end of the world for them. I feel like sometimes as parents, we forget that like their little bodies, their little minds are also going through crisis, just like us as adults. We just have higher crisis because we're adults, but they have crisis too. Tell them the truth without fear. Telling them how it is up front is going to prepare them to not be disappointed later on in life. Let them know this is what it is, this is how it's done, and prepare them for what life is going to have for them.
in regards to what career or
Just anything in regards to career, in regards to relationships, set boundaries. It's letting them know, like, hey, you can set this boundary. And for like, just for example, you don't want your daughter to walk on eggshells with you because your response when they look at love, right? They think anxiety when they have a father that for any little thing, he's going to be so upset with me. He's going to yell at me. He's going to hate me. He's going to this. He's going to that. Now he's seeing as, okay, when I look at what I look for in a partner is this. Well, my dad did it. This is normal. Like he did it. So this is okay. This is what a man is supposed to do.
So what it sounds like to me is just saying is the dad sets the standard for where
Absolutely.
the daughter eventually becoming to a woman would look for,
Absolutely.
right? So if you're not providing that emotional safety for your daughter, then they will look for a man.
They will look for an emotionally unavailable man when it's not provided at home.
Makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
100%.
And these are things that I'm learning as well, right? Learning raising daughters is very difficult. Shout out to the girl dads, but I feel like with our son, it's a little bit easier because I was once a boy, right? So I kind of know curiosity and the things that you're going through at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to teenage years. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna get it right, but there's some things where, I have ideas, and maybe it's a little
Right.
bit easier to connect. But from a daughter's perspective, sometimes you may be a little bit too aggressive. I know me, I'm a little bit too soft with my daughters because those are my little princesses. I try to spoil them and maybe not be as firm as I need to be. So if you relate, comment what you feel is one of the most difficult things in this emotional safety. How do you struggle with? How do you deal with it? Because I know it's not easy for me. Some
Absolutely.
good stuff. What's Before we move on to the next one? What's an actionable item, actionable task that a man could do, right? A father in these moments. What's maybe one thing they could look for to say, hey, this is that moment to provide that emotional safety.
For example, let's just say your daughter comes in and says, Dad, this is what happened at school. My friend, da da da. That is literally the cue because kids don't have cues. Kids don't know when to say, excuse me. Kids don't know when you're overwhelmed. Kids don't know when you're exhausted from work, when you don't have the capacity to really have a conversation with a child. They do not know that. They just know that is my parent and I just want to talk to them. At that moment, we have to consciously make that decision of like, okay, I'm not in the right state of mind to listen to this, but I have to give it my absolute all because it's so important to my child for
Okay.
me to feel heard. Drop everything that you're doing. Tell me, oh my gosh, she said what? No way. Are you kidding me? And what did you say? And no, Jaden, when I pick him up, he goes, "Mommy," he gives us a tea. And he was just so excited about like telling me the story. And he was excited that I was engaging into that conversation. So I think
Okay.
that's extremely important. So let's move on to the second one. Affirmation. Let's talk about what that looks like. Because affirmations is actually a love language, words of affirmation for like adults. Dad's affirmation literally comes with the value of how your daughter is going to see herself. When she sees herself as being smart, she sees herself as being beautiful, she sees herself as being this superstar. It starts with you. Her confidence builder, all of that comes from her dad. So initially, when women grow up to be super insecure about themselves, it's because unfortunately they had not because they had a father that didn't love them. Let's make that very clear. Sometimes a silent father could be detrimental to how they grow up to be. I've met a lot of women that are like, I'm such a daddy's girl, and like my daddy was the best, and this and that. But if you ask them, hey, did your dad ever tell you that you were beautiful and gorgeous and smart and this? They're like, well, no, but he like helped me like do my dorm in college and he did this for me and he did that for me and it's like yes, that's beautiful, those are active services, but has he ever given you affirmation?
So what you're saying is a father's words are very powerful.
Absolutely. Well, it's crucial. It's crucial for them to know from a young age their value and what they're going to be when they are older. Examples is their inner voice becomes a recording of their father. So when they go out to the real world, this man is approaching me. Hold on, my daddy. Have you ever seen like these videos of like these comedians? Their wives are like, my daddy can fix it, and the husbands are like, no, I can fix it.
Yeah.
Like I'm the husband. For example, I did not grow up with my biological father, but I did grow up with my stepdad and he was, oh my gosh, he was amazing. He was God sent. But I don't know if maybe because it was just like that dynamic of like we didn't want to make it weird and this and that. I did not grow up with him telling me like, "Oh, you're just so beautiful and you're just so this and you're just so that." He did say words like, "I'm proud of you," which is very important. I see myself saying that to the girls, and to Jaden as well. It's like even the smallest little thing. I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh, you picked up your fork. Yay! And I make it so much fun because it builds their self-esteem. But I see the difference in what that would have been for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's much harder to build confidence as an adult
Mm.
than it is to start it off at such a young age. I mean, off of bat, I can tell when a woman is extremely confident within herself. I can tell when a woman has a father in their life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, me too.
Like,
So a man's words is very powerful, and if the father doesn't give the daughter those words, then unfortunately they'll look for those words elsewhere. And it may not
absolutely.
be the correct
Absolutely.
standard of what exactly you want. your daughter to look for?
That's exactly what I
All
was going
right.
to say. They look for it, for example, on social media,
Finding validation within that.
validation in social media is like the
Seeking
biggest,
attention
ugh,
elsewhere.
it's like the biggest thing right now on social media. Women literally go to social media to find validation through their pictures, through their videos. Their entire life depends on their social media.
Mm.
How many likes they have, how many comments they have, how many reposts, how many this. If they do not have that there, they automatically are like, oh, well, I'm not good enough. Or the most famous one is Photoshop, which I see this all the time. And you see these people in person, right? And you see them on Instagram and it's like, I don't know, this don't match. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't match at all. It's like
Yeah.
you did not have anybody growing up telling you how beautiful you are, that now you need to go and Photoshop your pictures to the cuckoo crazy, making yourself look like somebody you're not, uploading it, and then tracking and clocking like the likes and the this and the that. And it's like that's the only way that you're gonna
Mm.
feel validation is because of that. So yes, affirmation is extremely important when it comes to making sure that your daughters grow up, with self-worth.
I feel like that's a little bit easier to maybe that the action is not easy, but I could kind of understand it because it's my love language.
Mm.
But I mean, I'm sure there's fathers out there that struggle with that as well.
Like you're still learning, and I feel like sometimes I use myself as an example where I need you to do this, and I need you to do this because if you're not doing it with me, you're not going to do it with your daughters, and it's not something that you think about, but you don't.
Uh,
As a man, it doesn't come natural to you. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I agree. I agree. That's good. I think that's very powerful.
for sure. And the third one, consistent presence. Just being present. Being present. Put your phone down. Put your phone down.
Be where your feet are.
Be where your feet, be present in the moment. F the phone, F the social media, F everything. Be present in the moment of your kids. If, even not even just your kids, but your wife, your spouse. Give them your time.
It sounds so simple, but I feel
I
like it's
know.
not easy,
I
right?
know.
Especially as a father, you're focusing on just a lot of different things going on, providing, life gets hard. You're focusing on just so many different things. Sometimes it's you have to make that conscious decision to be present, like
Yeah,
you said.
absolutely.
The 5 minutes of you being present is worth more than an hour of you
Absolutely.
being physically present but not there, right? Maybe taking that time to paint with them, or chase them around the house, or just play with them and be in that moment.
You know what?
It's way more important.
I saw a video just a few days ago on Instagram of a pastor. I just said, a little boy came home and asked his dad for $50. The dad was annoyed. He was like, "What do you need $50 for?" And the kid was like, "No, dad, please, like I need $50, blah, blah, blah." So then the dad's like, "Okay, fine, come with me. I'll go give you the $50." So then they go upstairs. The dad gives the little boy $50. And then the little boy takes out his wallet and now he's counting all of his money. And the dad's like, "What? You had money all along? Why are you asking me for $50?" And he was like, "Well, dad, how much do you make an hour?" And he was like, "About $100." He was like counting his money and he's like, "Okay, dad, well, I have $100 now.
Wow.
Can I borrow dad 1 hour of your time?"
Wow. It's deep.
Ugh,
Yeah.
ugh. Can you imagine one of our kids coming to us and saying, "How much do you get paid an hour? Can I buy
Yeah.
that 1 hour from you?"
Man,
I
that's
would
that's that's
die.
hard. That's hard. I feel like that's. I mean, the first one, emotional safety. I mean, I struggle with, but being present is a challenge every day.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Especially
yeah.
like I said, just providing every day and having to be conscious and be aware of that at that moment is hard. But that
Yeah.
hit home. That's
Yeah.
hard. I agree. So I have a question. Would you
Show
say
me.
that presence outweighs provision and providing?
Why you have to do me like that? It's
Because
valid. It's very valid. It's very valid. Okay. So let me reverse it.
Because some fathers may feel like, hey, I'm providing. We have a roof over our head. We're able to take vacations. We're able to go here. We're able to go there. Just because I'm not present, I mean, that's. Some fathers may feel like they're doing everything they can.
So let
And
me so let me so
go
let me
ahead.
reverse it. Let me
Yeah.
reverse it. Let me put it back. Me as a mother, if I am cooking for you If I am cleaning your drawers, if I'm cleaning your room and I'm providing all of that for you, does that mean that I don't nurture you? Or
Mm,
do I need to do them all? Let's put it in work aspects. At work, you can't just be a sales manager. You have to also be customer service, and you also have to be a leader, and you have to be a motivator when people are not motivated. You also have to be the boss, and you also have to be the friendly person. You have different hats. It's not just one. They all play a different role into being successful at your job, at your role. The same thing plays for a mother and a father. I had no self esteem growing up. My self esteem came after having my boy, Jaden. After having him and after therapy and all of that, my self esteem went up the roof. Now you can't tell me about myself. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But before, that's where people pleasing comes in. That's where, you look for men that
yeah.
aren't good for you.
It's crazy because you can tell a woman who wasn't raised by her father.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can notice it,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
shows.
It really
Fathers
does.
a very, very big role.
A lot of people say, I was raised by a powerful single mother. And I love that I was raised by a powerful single mother. But I am 31 going on 32 years old. And I promise you, the wisdom that I have is you need a father. There's things that I cannot teach my kids. It's not meant for me to teach
Yeah, I agree. So a
equally.
father sets that standard for what the daughter would be looking for when they're older, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. So
Literally. I
you
mean,
have
look at all
to.
these women that go through physical abuse that get pregnant at such a young age. And it's like, that could all be prevented. I promise you. It could all be prevented if you have a really present and active father.
But the saddest part is, when a woman is getting abused, maybe
Mhm.
emotionally, physically, and they keep going back. It's
Yeah.
like they thrive for that love, and
Oh,
they begging for that
absolutely.
love when
Absolutely.
it's not there, and it's like you can tell, it's a lot. I know if you fathers out there who's watching this, you can relate. That's one of my biggest fears is one of the moments where your daughter brings home it's maybe a sweet 16, or at that age where they start talking about boys, you're like, man, I want to make sure I set my daughter up for the right tools, because all we can do is trust in that we gave them tools that's needed to make the right decisions, right? Because at one point they are going to be on their own, but
Absolutely.
right now is my priority, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that I'm at least going to do my best, right? and
Yeah.
and try to provide that emotional safety, those affirmations, be present when I'm every day, right?
Yeah.
It's an everyday task. So I agree. I think those are really good. I think that's great advice. I think this is something that maybe all fathers struggle with, and
Absolutely.
sometimes need to put in perspective, and it needs to
Mhm.
be a conversation. So,
And also, before I even forget, okay, sometimes dads, your little girl is not talking about her friend, okay? She's talking about herself. She just doesn't know or is embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? The last thing that you want to do is use judgment.
I was gonna bring that up.
I cannot explain it. Do not judge anything that your daughter comes to you with, because they could be easily like, my friend, she did this and she did that.
And it's her.
And it's her.
Mhm.
Like, the last thing that you want is for you to, as her dad, to be like, "Oh, she's this and she's that and she's a horrible person and blah blah blah." That's it. She's never gonna come to you for nothing.
Mm.
She's
As you,
never gonna come
as
to you
you
for
say
nothing.
that, it puts in perspective that you want your daughters to feel comfortable to come up to you
Absolutely.
and want to speak to you and tell you the things that they're scared to, but they know that my dad's not gonna get upset at me. Let me, because
Absolutely.
if they don't come to you, they're
Mhm.
gonna go to either their own friends, may not get the best advice, and
Yep.
now you think that you guys have a great relationship, but they're really afraid to speak to you.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's building that
But
trust.
specifically because of a judgmental parent. It's
Yeah.
always like that parent, "Oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. Don't hang out with her. She's a this and she's a that." And it's like, y'all are too young for this. You're literally setting yourself up for failure. I want our daughters to come to me and you and say, "Mom, Dad, like, I like this boy." And I don't care what age it is. It's just like, okay, let's prepare. Let's hold on. Like,
Yeah, let's talk about it. Like, you like this
let's
boy?
hold on.
Let's talk about it.
Listen, and this is also for moms and dads, not just dads. They're gonna do what they want to do regardless. And if you think that they're not, you're wrong. They're
Yeah.
gonna do it. So what do you want? You want them to sneak out, be there for them. Be their friend and let them come to you for everything. Because I
Yeah.
promise you, at that age, especially like the teenage years and all of that, be their friend.
Yeah. No, that's really
100%.
good. Thank you for putting all those things in perspective. Fathers, if you can comment, let us know what's one thing that you struggle with. And if there's anything else that you guys feel you should add, let us know. Comment in the comments and let us know. These are the top 3 things that Melanie felt was as important as a woman. But I'm sure there's a lot more
Absolutely.
out there. And, let us know how you feel and what you think about this. If this was able to help you, like, subscribe, follow.
Send the video to somebody.
Send a video. We plan to continue to bring out some good content, things that's relevant, things that can help out others. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing and try to be better. You play that big role, so make sure you put your all and be present. So
Present.
listening to this makes me realize that being a father is not about control, it's about responsibility. And the way we show up now becomes the standard, right? So that's big about that. So fathers, we don't just raise daughters, we shape the standards,
I love that.
right?
Period.
Period. So thank you very much for tuning
Thank you
in. We
so much for
appreciate
watching.
y'all. And until next time.
Until next time.